Jeff, is this like a mock game week for you guys? I think that's what you said. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it like getting back into that rhythm?
You got scout team and all that kind of stuff you got to get used to, and just a little change of format, just preparing for Houston a little bit more.
What can you tell us about Houston? Just kind of a early look at them.
Defensively, they're running the ball very well. I mean, Coach Belk's done a fantastic job there. How physical they are. They're very good tacklers. I would just say they're very confident and they move really well. I mean, and they tackle very well. So he's done a fantastic job. They're a top 10 defense and maybe 6th in the country, 7th, I don't know, 8th, whatever it was. And you can just tell they're very well coached and they're physical. They fly around with the football.
Do you approach this preseason period overall, just the last few weeks, any differently because of the amount of experienced guys you have?
You've got to be smart with those guys, obviously, but you got to get them ready to play as well. So it's just such a fine line of making sure we get them to the game, but making sure they're in condition to play the game.
KD was telling us in particular that with some of those offensive line guys, it's like they might only play a couple series, especially in these scrimmage settings, just because some of them, like him, have been around for a while. Is that a position especially where you kind of want to be careful with some of those guys or take it light on them when you can?
We've done that with them, since after that first year, those guys returned. So we were smart with them last year in the spring and in the fall camp. And I go back and look at all those reps, and actually they got more reps in the second scrimmage by far than they did last year versus Illinois, the second scrimmage, just because the drives just continued to go. We couldn't big play our defense, so it took us a while to get down there. So, but yeah, that's a group because that's where it's the hardest to take care of people, because it doesn't matter if you're tag or thud or live. Those guys are live every play. There's just nothing you can do about it.
Any rust coming back today after I think you guys were off 2 days, right?
We had Sunday and Monday. So no, the kids look good. The Lord was really good to us. I mean, what a great way to practice. I mean, we went a little long today just because I knew we could, and that was nice.
Jeff, are you guys scheming up the pass rush any differently this year compared to last year, doing different things to try to create advantageous situations for y'all?
No different than you would any other year. You got to do what your kids do very well, and but no, they'll still be the same blitzes. They'll just be different people doing them, and maybe more certain blitzes just because of the kids that are doing it. So. No, it's pretty much what we've always done.
I wasn't sure if without Clarence Hicks and Chuck Weiler there, like individual pass rushing ability, that you might look for alternate ways to try to generate some of that, through scheme or through play calling.
Even if we have, I sure wouldn't say we have.
We talked to Nick Fortune at Media Day. He said he felt like he got off to a slow start in fall camp and then kind of got it going. Did you see how he sort of picked it up through the month?
Yeah, I think that's a very fair assessment. He's a veteran. He wants to please people. He's a really good kid, young man, and really pleased with Nick and his development. And he's really bought into the culture. You'd think he'd been here since day one. He's so into what we're about, and really pleased with Nick.
Was that where you saw that progression, that maybe he didn't fit into that right away and then got it, or what were
No,
those areas where he improved?
He jumped in pretty quick. You could tell he really enjoyed it, and he didn't fight it at all. And he's been steady. He reminds me of a lot of our guys that are already on our team. He's a good fit. I say it all the time. Like-minded people surround themselves with like-minded people, and there's a reason he chose to come play for us, and we're really glad he did.
Jeff, I think we're going to talk to Trey Smith today for the first time. What can you tell us about how he's done so far?
He's a lot like Nick. He bought in from day one. Obviously, there was an advantage for him because he knew me for a long time, and just a team guy. I mean, him and Brendan Brady are just really, they're good to lead a room. They're about serving. They're about taking care of people. He'll have a smile on his face at all times. He loves to play football. He loves life. He's just a great kid to have in the locker room, and a really good little back.
We talked to Joe Evans as well over the weekend. He said UTSA is a place where he feels like he's encouraged to grow and to speak his mind. Is that an environment you've really made an effort to foster here, and why is that different from a lot of other places?
I can't really speak on other people, honestly, but it is something we're very intentional about. And Joe is very similar to Trey and Nick. It's like he was just, you think they'd been here the entire time. And, that SEC world is tough, and there's a lot of pressure. And it's not to say there's less pressure here. It's just a different kind of pressure. I mean, it gets pretty nasty pretty quick. So, you got Trey come from Arkansas, Joe come from LSU, Nick come from West Virginia, where, just sometimes pressure makes people do different things, right? And I think these kids enjoy knowing that they're going to be loved unconditionally no matter what.
Is there any kind of balance there of, wanting that open dialogue and feeling like they can speak freely, but also obviously still wanting to have some authority and that sort of aspect of it as well?
Yeah, but rules without relationships is rebellion, and I'm a big relationship guy, and we have rules, and we're very disciplined. If we were a heavily penalized team that turned the ball over all the time and we looked poorly coached, I would say there'd be reason for concerns from the media, but that's not the way our kids ever are. They're very buttoned up. We just like to smile and laugh and cry and hug it out sometimes. And it's just kind of the way we like the locker room to be, and it works for me. I'm not saying it would work for everybody. It's just the way that we believe it's supposed to be done.
You guys got some single digits going this week. What can you tell us about that, and were there any surprises or anything that jumped out?
No, there weren't any surprises. It's just a great group of kids, and the ones we celebrated are the ones that kind of waited. JT's been a good player for a long time. He's in it now. Oscar's been a good player for a while. He's in it now. Corey Mayfield, he's in it now. Not everybody just gets into single digit from the jump street. You kind of got to pay your dues around here right now. There's some really good players that did not get in. They're really good. We're just deeper, and we've got a lot more kids that represent the brand now. So it's a lot harder for a young kid to jump in. So everybody's got to kind of wait their turn. And that's a sign of a really good program. That's a sign of kids maturing. And happy for Kevin Davis, Terrell Haynes. Maybe I'm telling you guys, I don't know if we even released it on social media yet, so I'm sure I'm just running right now for my 4 social media team. But yeah, that's what we've really been harping on, are the players that got in. Brandon Matterson, they waited their turn, and they've been playing for a while. So that helped some of those younger kids that didn't quite make it. We had some really good young players that almost made it, but they just didn't quite get over the hump.
And then what's your overall health status? Can you just give us a general overview of where you're at right now?
We're okay. We've had some hits in there, that I just don't like losing kids in practice, period. And it just makes me sick at my stomach. So we're going to have a couple that won't be able to play probably. But we still got 10 to 11 days. Miraculous things happen. Sometimes that old game pill, that's a joke. It's really not a game pill. It's a saying. Somehow they just miraculously get better on Tuesday of that game week. It's the darndest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, we're okay. We're not. I'm sure every team's had some hits. I just hate it when it's my guys.
Yeah. All right, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all.